The US government recently established the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve. Many people in the crypto community, they're upset and pissed off. Why? Because there was no new purchases of Bitcoin that were announced. They thought that the US Strategic Bitcoin Reserve would come with billions and billions and billions of dollars of purchases. That's not what happened. So if America finds it valuable to hold the Bitcoin that we already have in our possession, we should also find it valuable to buy more Bitcoin. I like the saying, anything worth doing is worth overdoing, and that applies in this case. Now, thankfully, the president's executive order, it was well written, and it included a very important sentence, which granted the Treasury and the Commerce Department the opportunity to acquire more Bitcoin in a budget-neutral way. Now, here's exactly what this sentence said. It says that the Secretaries of Treasury and Commerce are authorized to develop budget-neutral strategies for acquiring additional Bitcoin, provided that those strategies impose no incremental cost on American taxpayers. That makes a lot of sense to me. Let's buy more Bitcoin, but don't put the burden on taxpayers. Now, most people, they realize that this is a significant change. This is a significant sentence in this order, yet they don't quite understand what the government is going to do next. Well, we just got our answer yesterday, and it was a big bombshell answer. Hines, the executive director of digital assets, he said that the US government wanted as much as we can get in reference to how much Bitcoin would be acquired over time. Let's take a listen.
For us here, we look at Bitcoin, it's not a security, it's a commodity. It has intrinsic stored value that's traditionally accepted. We talked about ways of acquiring more Bitcoin in budget neutral ways that won't cost the taxpayer a dime. It's high time that our president started accumulating assets for the American people, which is what President Trump is doing, rather than taking it away. You know, I've been asked all the time, it's like, how much do you want? I say, well, that's like asking a country, how much gold do you want, right? I mean, as much as we can get.
That's a pretty big statement coming from someone focused on acquiring more Bitcoin for the United States. You love to see it. We're winning, son. Now this brings us to the most important question. How can the US acquire more Bitcoin in a budget-neutral way? Van X, Matthew Siegel, he shared 6 different ideas on how this could happen. The first is to reevaluate gold to unlock funds. The second is to issue Bitcoin-backed bonds. The third would be to use the Federal Reserve surplus. The fourth would add Bitcoin to the IMF's special drawing rights. The fifth, to sell surplus cheese for Bitcoin. That's right, we got a bunch of cheese we can get rid of to buy digital gold. And lastly, we can use the Treasury's Exchange Stabilization Fund. Now, no one knows exactly how the government's going to do this. How the heck are they going to acquire more Bitcoin? But it is now very obvious that multiple government agencies are working to get more Bitcoin into the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve. I personally liked Bitwise CEO Hunter Horsley's comment. He said, when Bitcoin is at $200,000, we'll look back on March 2025 and say, how was everyone not buying? It was so obvious. And I agree, Hunter. I think you nailed it. The United States of America, the greatest economy ever constructed in human history, is openly telling people that they want to acquire as much Bitcoin as possible. It's incredibly obvious what happens when a nation state of our size pours billions of dollars into a finite supply asset. That also kicks off a global competition, and so make sure that you're not late to the party.